And we are back live at E3 from the PlayStation booth. We're talking The Walking Dead, coming to PS Vita later this summer. I'm here with Harrison Pink, designer on the game from Telltale Games. Okay, first things first. The Walking Dead came out, last year on PS3.
Yep.
One of the most memorable games I played in the last 5 years.
Really glad to hear it.
How did you guys do this? I mean, this is, I have long suspected that episodic gaming could really be a slam dunk, but I've never felt that anyone's nailed it. You guys slam dunked it.
Thank you so much for saying that. How do we do it? That's a really tough question to ask. We just have some really smart, passionate people at Telltale, all the way from writers, designers, all of our choreographers, cinematic artists, testers. Everyone just loves The Walking Dead. Everyone loves episodic gameplay. Everyone loves adventure-style narrative storytelling. So everyone's just so passionate about it. It just comes through in the work, I guess.
Yeah, it felt like a passion project.
Absolutely.
It felt like, it didn't feel like some big budget spectacle. It felt like a bunch of smart dudes got in a room and worked it out bit by bit. You had the great Gary Whitta sort of helping guide the story consultant.
Yep.
You had some killer writing going on, killer characters, and I mean, just some of the best moments that I've personally experienced in games in a long time.
Thank you so much.
The great news, though, it's coming to PS Vita.
Oh, yeah.
And as we heard the other night in PlayStation's E3 2013 press conference, it's getting a bundle, too.
Sure is, yep.
So it's going to include, well, tell us what it's going to include.
Okay, so the bundle is going to include all of the Season 1 content, plus 400 days, which we just announced, plus some additional special content, just for the PS Vita.
Awesome. So there's a lot of, this is a great game, and if folks who haven't played it yet, PS Vita is a great place to play it, because it's going to give you not only the full PS3 experience with the analog sticks and buttons, but also some of the touch features and some of the other features that PS Vita has.
You can sort of pick between. We're going to have touch. The touch stuff is going to be supported. You can use the analog sticks if you're more comfortable with that. You can sort of mix and match it together. But it's the full PlayStation 3 experience. There's nothing been taken out.
And we're just taking a look here. This is the game. There's some footage we've got here. This appears to be, is this 400 days?
This is 400 days. This is
I got to know more. What's going on with 400 days?
400 days is a sort of one-off DLC episode that bridges Season 1 and Season 2. It's sort of like a connective tissue. The choices you make in Episode 1 or Season 1 will sort of carry into 400 days, and the choices you make in 400 days will carry into Season 2. So it's a standalone thing. You have to have at least Episode 1 of Season 1 to download it, because it's a DLC episode. And we recommend that you play Season 1 first.
Of course, I would too. And
you can if you want to. You can play 400 days first, but because your choices sort of flow through, you definitely want to play Season 1 first. And at our Telltale booth at E3, we're demoing one of the first chapters. The protagonist's name is Vince. Let me back up a second. So there's 5 protagonists in this. It's sort of short. Wow. Yeah, so I should have said that first. It's a short story compilation, basically. We're sort of experimenting with gameplay that isn't tied to chronology, so sort of like, what would be the way I would describe it? Pulp Fiction would be the way. Sort of all of these chapters tie into each other, so you can play them any order you want. There's no specific order. There's a chronology, because it is the first 400 days of the zombie apocalypse, and these 5 protagonists sort of surviving, and all their stories sort of connect. So you play one chapter, it might affect something in another chapter, or you might be referencing some other people you met in another chapter. And it all sort of ties together to make one long story, but you don't have to play it in a specific order.
That's awesome. So when can we look forward to playing this thing? 400 days.
400 days will be out around the same time as the bundle, which is sometime in August.
Okay.
On the PS Vita.
And it'll be now that'll be available on PS3. That'll be available on PS Vita as well, and it'll come with that PS Vita bundle.
Yes. So if you get the bundle, it'll come with 400 days. It'll also come with Season 1, and it'll be out on PS3, I believe, in July.
Outstanding. Okay. So I had a memorable conversation with Mr. Robert Kirkman.
I bet.
About a year ago. This thing was just getting started. It was maybe the 2nd or 3rd episode of The Walking Dead. Again, truly a special, I think, historic game. A game I think that people will point back to years from now and say, those guys were really on to something. I think it's kind of a before. There was a before The Walking Dead and an after The Walking Dead. I mean,
feel that too. We really do feel that at Telltale as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare that I say things like that. There's lots of great games out there. There's all different kinds of games for every taste, but this was really something special. And I could even tell Robert Kirkman, kind of a hard guy to please. I mean, his comics are immaculate. They're meticulous. He works very, very hard on it. And he had some very nice things to say about the game as well. Yeah. He said, I'm very proud of what Telltale Games has been pulling off with this. Is he still going to be involved as you guys scope out the project?
Absolutely. I think that, especially going into Season 2, he's going to be involved in a similar vein as he was involved in Season 1. He has been so supportive. Like, he has been sending, like, Telltale as a company messages like, guys, like what you said, so proud. Like, I couldn't have even imagined it. And he's just been, it's Robert. He's so passionate about what he works on. He wouldn't let it out the door bad, right? So,
Right.
but he's been so supportive about everything Telltale's done for The Walking Dead. So he's been there every step of the way.
Outstanding. So something else I want to talk about is some of the choices that you can make in this game. And if you haven't played The Walking Dead, I'm tempted to tell you to wait for the PS Vita version because it's got touch, it's got all these other features. If you get the bundle, you're going to get a lot of extra content. But these choices that you make in this game, a lot of games claim choice.
Right.
The Walking Dead really, they have serious consequence.
Oh,
I mean, the game can go in a very different direction depending on the choices. Is that still going to be a part of 400 days and just moving forward?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that makes Walking Dead so memorable is your choices, and there's no sort of right or wrong choices, right? That's that moral gray area that makes The Walking Dead so interesting in the show, in the comic book, and everything. So we definitely want to continue that vein while sort of, changing it up. Telltale is all about taking adventure games and taking them to the next level, the next realm. What can adventure games be next? So we're definitely going to do more choice stuff and some stuff you haven't seen yet in Walking Dead.
Outstanding. What else is there to talk about here? What else is new with the PS Vita version? I mean, have you guys kind of retuned it in any way? Or actually, a great question is, how hard has it been to sort of get that PS3 experience onto PS Vita?
PlayStation's been a great partner. I'm not a technical guy, so I wish I could tell you, it's 100% easier.
You just drag and drop into the folder and you output, and that's it.
You just shrink the screen a little bit, it's fine. We were all really excited when we first started seeing the builds come out on the Vita. I wish I could give you specifics, but it wasn't, I don't think it was super hard, but I think that we definitely wanted to make sure that you weren't getting a cut down experience. We didn't want to give you the mobile version or the simpler version.
Right.
So everything you have in the PlayStation 3 version is in the Vita version, plus more stuff.
Great. One more question for you. You were in the audience last night for PlayStation's 2013 press conference. Right. Any thoughts, any highlights coming out for you? What did you think?
The whole thing was just amazing. PlayStation did some awesome stuff. Sony did some great stuff. I can't wait. I'm really excited.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We're all looking forward to playing The Walking Dead and all the new content that's to come, coming to PS Vita this summer.